It is that time of your morning where we attempt to answer just some of the many questions that you still have about COVID-19, how to make sure that you stay safe. Joining us again this morning is infectious disease specialist Dr. Isaac Bogoch. Good morning to you again.
Good morning.
So Spain has eased its lockdown restrictions as they see a drop in the number of new daily cases. What do we need to see happen here in Canada before we can even consider easing measures?
Yeah, so Canada really has to see a sustained reduction in the number of new cases of COVID-19. We have to see this day by day by day, probably for a minimum of 2 weeks. And I think then and only then will our public health authorities consider lifting some of these very, challenging public health measures that we're all living under. So really, it's going to be a sustained reduction in the number of new cases per day.
All right, speaking of public health measures, there's a lot of confusion around what I can and can't do, where I can and can't go during isolation or physical distancing. Can I go for a drive or a ride on my motorcycle? Can I go out and walk my dog?
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is yes, you certainly can. The goal is stay at home and stay at home as much as possible. But it's very clear, and if you look at the federal sites, the provincial sites, even the municipal sites, they say go out and get some exercise, go out and walk your dog, go out and, run around, just spread apart. And while you're not out getting exercise, stay around your house. So it still is okay to go out. But when we're not out getting our exercise or running and grabbing essential needs and groceries, go home.
All right, this question came to us from one of our viewers on Instagram. They want to know, what are the mild symptoms that people are staying home with?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so there are some very mild symptoms associated with this that we're having a much better understanding of as we have more and more data available. Of course, some people are going to have this a cough, and a mild cough, and some people will have a mild fever. We're also hearing more and more people have disturbances in smell and taste. And sometimes that we don't have enough data to support this, but this may be an earlier sign of this infection or just a sign of this infection. Some people are actually having some gastrointestinal problems as well, including diarrhea. But usually when, at least in the few cases that we've seen that people are just having diarrhea, they're also having this associated with a cough as well. But again, we're learning more and more about what what the symptoms are. And it does look like it is more than just a cough and a fever and shortness of breath. There certainly are more symptoms associated with this.
One last question, Dr. Bogoch, and this again has to do with physical distancing and how we spend our time. How careful do I need to be when walking my dog?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, your dog, of course, you have to take your dog for a walk and you have to go get outside and get some exercise. But I really think people should avoid having other people pet their dog. We know that we're not going to shake other people's hands, so you wouldn't have other people pet your dog. That's just a way that this infection can get on the dog and bring the infection back into one's home. So, take your dog for a walk, but your dog is for you and your family to pet, not for other people. And
no interaction with other dogs, I'm assuming, as well. Like if you have your dog on a long leash.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's spot on.
Okay. Dr. Bogoch, thanks as always.
Have a great day.
And a reminder to you at home, if you have any corona-related questions you want us to get answered for you, we answer these questions every day around this time. Here's our social media addresses. Reach out to us. Let us know what you're wondering about COVID-19. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.